Hi everyone, Tintin57 here with another Train Sim World 2 video, and today let's talk about Creators Club for TSW and run an interesting scenario I found there for the HST on Great Western Express. But before we do that, I wanted to let you know that I'm also starting to upload my scenarios over this weekend, and so far I just have the one up there as a bit of a test. Here it is if you want to take a look at it and support my download numbers. It's just a short one between Brighton and Seaford, and channel regulars may remember me running this in an earlier video on the channel. But on to the one we're here for today, and this is a scenario uploaded by community member JonahN called FGW HST for console users. Right now it's one of the most popular on the Creators Club page, and it looked really good, so I thought I'd give it a go. So thanks to JonahN for submitting that and sharing it with us all. And if you also want to grab this one, you can see the details here now on the screen. As far as I'm aware, you only need Great Western Express for this to run okay. Okay, so it is. Let's get everything set up in the cab first before we take a look. Let's get the safety systems on first. We'll put the dials up somewhere here. Here it is. So here it is outside. Really does look very nice. First Great Western livery. This is so much better than the one that comes with Great Western Express. And so much detail has been put into this. There are some very clever people out there to be able to create these liveries. And some of the detail there in this stripe along the side is pretty impressive, to say the least. So this is one of the most popular ones that I've seen so far in Creators Club. Creators Club's only been going since yesterday, actually. But already there's lots of nice stuff being uploaded, and I feel that this is going to breathe some new life into into a lot of the routes, including Great Western Express. So it's a really good idea. Gets a chance for people to share a lot of the really good creative stuff that they've been keeping locally to themselves since Train Sim World. Scenario planner and livery designer became a thing. So today we're just going from Paddington to Reading. We got no stops along the way, it's direct. But it'll just give us a good chance to have a look at this livery in a bit more detail. I'd be interested to know just how long it took Jonah to create this one. This is way beyond my creative talents. I will say that. So, if you want to play this one, you just need to download the scenario, which is detailed at the beginning. The livery actually comes as part of the scenario. You don't have to download the livery separately, which is a good thing. I have had some instances so far where I've downloaded some liveries and they just don't appear anywhere in the game. This one was straightforward because the livery is part of the scenario. You just need the scenario. So if you want to try this one, give it a go. It looks really nice, I have to say. I think the original HST livery that we've got for Great Western Express is it's very plain, isn't it? I know it's an official livery, but it looks very plain. This one's really nice. As I mentioned the other day, one of the other videos, I hope somebody makes the old 1970s just blue and yellow intercity livery for this train. That would be really good. I need to do a search. I'm sure by the time I've recorded this video, there'll be a lot more stuff uploaded to Creators Club. There's new stuff all the time. It's quite fun actually going through, just trying to find things that you're interested in. Something for everybody on there. That does look good. So I don't know if we'll see any traffic coming the other way in this scenario, or whether it's just us and it is just an A to B. I don't expect any red lights or anything like that, but it's a good one just for us to appreciate the look of this. Good showcase. And because this comes as part of this scenario, I'm not actually sure if we'll be able to lift this livery and use it in Scenario Planner elsewhere if we wanted to, because it isn't a separate livery. I'm not quite sure yet technically how that works, but I will do some digging over the weekend. I haven't used it too much so far. I have uploaded that one scenario that I already had from a while back. I do want to do some more research over this weekend and add a few more to that. Just as an experiment really, just to see how popular they become. However, the Creators Club, I would say it's a really good idea. It's a little bit clunky on console. I have to say there's a couple of glaring issues so far. One of which is when you are browsing the list of scenarios or liveries on the console, it's not easy to see where your cursor is on the screen. You're not quite sure what it is you're highlighting. In a similar way to if you're playing on console and you go into timetable mode and you want to change the weather, if you're scrolling up and down between clouds, wind, etc., it's not always easy in that block now to see which one of those your cursor's highlighting. It's the same in here. It seems to be it's obviously been developed on a PC, and when you've got your mouse, it's easy enough to see where your cursor is, and you can just click where you want to click. That hasn't quite transferred between PC and console, but I'm sure that's something that they can fix quite easily. This is a beta. This is Creators Club beta. So being a beta, we should expect some things not to be quite right with it, but generally as it stands now, it's pretty good. It's better to have it than not have it. I do love this colour. It is nice. So we've got 30 miles to Reading. We should get all the way up to 125, no problem. Should be a straightforward run. So don't forget we're playing on the PS5 here for this particular one. I did read on the forums that there was some issue between liveries that were created on PS4 not being available on PS5, and I'm wondering if that is what has happened to some of the liveries that I've downloaded so far. I wonder if somebody's developed them on PS4, and because I'm on PS5 I can actually download them from the Creators Club, but I can't find them anywhere. There's been several like that. It's a bit confusing at the moment. I'm going to try and get some clarification on that from the forums. You can also go onto your PC or Mac, or wherever you've got a web browser. Actually, you can log into Dovetail Live, and from there you can go to Creators Club. And what you can do is you can, offline, without being at your console, you can browse the list as you would do on the console, and you can subscribe to scenarios and liveries, and what happens is it will queue them, and when you next log onto the console it will automatically download those to the console, so that they're waiting for you, so you don't have to spend hours and hours on the console looking through. If you do it through a web browser as well, there is a search function. I couldn't find the search function on the console, but via the web browser there is, and it's much easier to look for something specific. It is fun though, just looking at the thumbnails. This one I spotted just by looking at the thumbnail. I didn't particularly look for an HST. I just saw the thumbnail and thought that looks interesting. So there's different ways you can do it. But I can recommend this one. And of course this is a real livery. There is a lot of fictional stuff on there, which is also good, but it's like off the rails. It really just depends how far you want to go off track, and you know what it is you want to download in your game, because I'm assuming with some of these liveries, as you're running timetables and scenarios, if you've got liveries for different locos, there is potential for them to pass you as AI traffic as you're running a particular service or scenario. So there is a chance you will see them, so if that spoils your enjoyment by seeing fictional liveries, then that's something just to keep in mind. So it's taken us a while to speed up, as it always does on this route. It does look good, doesn't it? This could almost be an officially released livery, couldn't it? From DTG. It looks that good. So what I want to say to you guys is that there is a lot of stuff on Creators Club, and if you do find anything that is interesting, please post it down in the comments below. And if you're watching and you've created any scenarios or liveries yourself, also let me know down below. I'll take a look at those, and there's a chance we could run a few of those on the channel. So let me know what your username is, or a particular scenario name or livery name, and I'll go and check it out in the Creators Club. So we're approaching max speed. I'll just take a bit of the gas off. We've still got 21 miles to go till we get to Reading. So I had a test run of this scenario earlier. There is one issue with it, and that is when you get to Reading, it asks you to open the doors. Now we should open the doors on the right hand side, but actually for the scenario to finish you have to open the doors on the left hand side, which is obviously back to front. It's a simple issue. I don't know if that's something that the creator can fix, but if you subscribe to this or any scenario, then if the owner, if the creator makes any changes to that scenario or livery at a later date and then re-uploads it, because you're subscribed, you should get the changes to that. So if you stay subscribed to it, you'll get the changes. So it could be something that's reported back to the creator and will be fixed at a later date. But I don't know if that's something particular to this scenario, or whether or not that is an issue with the core game itself, which is making the doors open on the wrong side, because we've seen that, haven't we, on several of these routes where the doors have been back to front. I remember on this route, Diesel Legends, for example, for quite a while you had to open the doors on the wrong side to be able to move the scenario on. So just remember, if you do download this and you get to the end and you get stuck and the opening of the correct doors isn't registering, just do the other side and it'll move on. So we're looking good so far. I believe that was Slough we just passed, which is around the halfway mark, give or take a mile or so. Just cruising along nicely, 122 miles per hour. Not seen any traffic yet on the opposite side. And the other thing is, I don't know whether or not this scenario, once you download this scenario, I don't know if you can further edit it yourself. Like I said, if you're subscribed and the creator makes changes, you'll get those changes, which could wipe out any changes that you make. But I wonder if it's possible, once you've got this scenario, that you can go in and edit it yourself in the normal way, because it is just in the tools. It does go into your scenario designer area. I don't know if it's locked, but if you can make changes, I wonder if you could make changes and put some traffic coming the other way. If that's the case, then that's also good, because you can take a basic idea and then you can develop it. But it's important to give credit to the person that did all the work in the first place. This one in particular, I think, has taken a lot of work. I'm sure you'll agree, but it looks great. So we thunder for another station. 13 miles to go. And at this speed, we certainly cover some mileage. I mentioned in the other Great Western Express video I did earlier this week, I haven't travelled on this route, but I imagine this is was a very good service for people coming into London from outside of London. It's the rear of the train. All quiet once it thunders through. So I'd be interested to know from you guys what you think of Creators Club so far. Have you been using it? Do you plan to upload much, if any, stuff that you've already created yourselves, or are you just going to use it to look what the community has produced and download some of that? Either way, I'm sure everybody's going to get quite a lot of use out of this. What it will also do, of course, is inspire a bit of friendly competition. And now the number of subscribers can be measured. I'm sure there's going to be some very good creative members of the community wanting to be at the top of the most popular list, and will spend some time creating some really good stuff. It is unfortunately, because of licensing, of course, it is unfortunately restricted as to what you can and can't create. There are a few licenses in there, and I know that DTG are working to increase the list. You certainly can't go in and just create any livery that you like. You can locally on your own console or PC, but if you want to share it, it's got to fall within the rules. Obviously no profanity. You couldn't take this HST and blazing graffiti along the side with something profane. There is a moderation system going on, but I'm not quite sure how that moderation system is working. I don't know if that's an AI type moderation, or whether there are actually DTG community teams sat there looking at each livery, each description, each scenario, and just, ad hoc taking them down. I saw on the forums that some people have had things taken down and they weren't quite sure why they'd been removed. But in one case, somebody had used the Amtrak logo, and even though Amtrak is in the game and that's officially licensed with DTG, I don't think it's covered for user creations. It will be licensed to be used to be sort of represented the way that it's represented in real life. So it's going to be a trial and error for a while, but don't let that stop you uploading stuff if you think you've got something good to share. So we're approaching Reading, just over 4 miles. I'll need to be reducing speed quite soon. I think we have a 95, we got 95 coming up, which reduces to a 60, and then I think further reduces to a 40 and 30 as we come in to Reading. So let's just freewheel it in, take some of that speed off to help us get to the 95 without causing our passengers any unnecessary distress. So that warning is for the speed. It's just reminding us to get down to the 95. We've got that coming up. So just put a little bit of initial brake in there. We've got half a mile. And then we've got the yellows, which are starting to bring us down, ready for coming into Reading Station. So I think we get the 60 pretty quick after this 95. Yep, within a mile. So this scenario doesn't have a time on it. We've no due time, so you're not going to be late on this scenario, so you can take as long as you like. We're not up against the clock. Gives you a good chance to have a look at the route, have a look at the livery, just enjoy the run. So less than a mile to go till we arrive. I've really enjoyed this one. It's a really, really nice livery. I'd recommend it. Go and find it in Creators Club. Add it to your collection, and when you want to run something different, you can pick it out. It'll be sitting in your scenario planner for Great Western Express. If you look in Tools, Scenario Planner on the Great Western route, you'll see it in there once you've subscribed to it. So we're approaching the end of the platform. It looks as if the actual stopping location is one of those that's pretty close to the red light, so just be aware of that. If you're running this scenario, you haven't got much room between the stopping point and the red. It's very, very easy to spad. Especially in this HST where the brakes do take some getting used to. I just love the way it reflects. Just need to bring it down very slowly. Yeah, the red's about 5 yards after. The red's about 5 yards after the stop marker, so we need to be very, very careful. Just creep along. So there we go. You can open the doors on this side, but remember, if you want it to advance at the top and complete the scenario, you must open the doors on the left hand side right now at the moment, or else you won't be able to finish the scenario. But that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. All the best. Enjoy Creators Club, and I'll see you on the next one.